I like that you said Axie Infinity because I think that's the one that everyone they hear play to earn game, that's the one everybody thinks of. Axie Infinity has had great success with adoption, revenue. Could you compare poker to Axie Infinity as a play to earn game? What are the play to earn dynamics in your game specifically versus how people understand Axie Infinity?
I think we
Metaverse, NFTs, play to earn games are hot right now. We've heard of Axie Infinity. We've heard of Facebook transitioning into the metaverse by changing their name to Meta. Today, we are joined by the managing director of Polker Game, one of the hottest play to earn metaverse games around, Connor Thacker. How are you doing today?
not bad. Nice to be here. Yeah, and thank you for hosting me.
Yes, of course. Love it. How are you feeling about cryptocurrency in general these days?
Well, it's been quite an exciting year, exciting couple of weeks, and especially for us at poker, just as a game itself and our token PKR. I don't know if you've been watching it or not, but yeah, we've it's been making waves, getting a lot of attention. So I think we're pretty happy, pretty content, and it's nice to see the whole crypto ecosystem grow at the moment.
Yeah, I bet you guys front ran the, metaverse interest in general. People are just now getting into metaverse games and you guys were building a metaverse game. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's get right into it. For the folks at home who've never heard of poker or poker.game, what is poker.game?
So poker game, what we are is we're completely free to play to earn a game, NFT game. So the game itself is based on the traditional game of poker. So we're built on Unreal Engine, so we got the same graphics as sort of Fortnite, Street Fighter 5. So it's fully immersive. It's not the same as logging in on some of the sort of other metaverse systems at the moment, which are quite basic graphics. So it is really intense when you're in them. It's the same game as poker, so it's the traditional game, but we've taken away the gambling aspect completely. So the chips have no value; they cannot be bought or sold. You're literally playing to earn the NFTs. So if you win a hand, you have a chance of winning the NFTs. On the free-to-play model, anyone can play. You can download the game; has no cost. If you want to enter the play to earn model, then you can buy in with the PKR parts. So we have our native token, PKR. You can buy a low pass, it's going to cost something like about $5 worth of PKR, and you can start earning NFTs with this. And we're going to have different levels. So if you want an elite level, you're going to have a chance to earn some of the bigger NFTs while you're playing. And these NFTs have use in games. If you're holding them in your wallet, you're going to be able to change the dealer on the table, the graphics of the game, and display that to everyone else who's playing at the table as well. So it's kind of we are the first, what I know, sort of game that's aimed to take poker, a non-gambling version of it, firstly, so we're family friendly, and to introduce the NFT sort of play to earn and free to play as well. Like we're taking away that barrier to entry. You're not going to have to pay $600 like on some of the other games like Axie just to start. There is no cost really. So we're just trying to make something that's not there yet, and to make it attractive to all different people, whether you're a gamer, whether you're a crypto, whether you're into NFTs, whether you're into poker. So it's sort of an all-around project, this one.
I like that you said Axie Infinity because I think that's the one that everyone they hear play to earn game, that's the one everybody thinks of. Axie Infinity has had great success with adoption and revenue. Could you compare poker to Axie Infinity as a play to earn game? What are the play to earn dynamics in your game specifically versus how people understand Axie Infinity?
I think in the literally the only similarity is that we are play to earn, really. Axie Infinity's model would have been, I think it's great the way they've done it. I mean, CryptoKitties did the same back in 2017. They had a very similar model there. The only difference I think you find with ours is that we don't have the barrier to entry. And we're okay. Axie Infinity it's a cool game. I love it, but it's very different. We are a standalone game. We're running on Unreal Engine, so when you're in the game, it's like you're playing. Okay, you were really playing a game. It's the graphics. It's completely sort of uncomparable stand. The play to earn model, I think, I don't know. On Axie Infinity, I like the way it worked at first, but then the barrier to entry with the cost on Ethereum sort of has changed that, which I think is great for those who got in early. And I love that they do have this scholarship system and everything to get people in. But because we're keeping our token to buy in the pass, we do have an Ethereum token, but we have bridged it to Binance Smart Chain. And we are going to bridge now to Polygon as well to reduce fees even more. Just to allow anyone to play, So it doesn't matter whether you have money or you don't have money. You can join the game and you have a chance to make something from it.
Talk to me a little bit more about the metaverse aspect, because I totally understand online Texas Hold'em, but what's the metaverse?
Yeah, so this is I literally was just playing the game before I joined you. The beta release is coming out on Thursday, so it's great getting in there and actually seeing it all working now. Once you're in the game, you have the way to communicate with each other. You can pick which table you're going to go and sit down on. You can talk to the people to the left or the right of you. You can have conversations. You can interact, and it's growing all the time. This is the idea. So at the moment, on the beta, it's going to be fairly basic. We're not going to have a huge amount. We're going to have the dealers. We're going to be able to pick your table, move around, interact. And as we sort of scale, make sure that we can have. At the moment, we didn't expect quite so much attention, but we have 20,000 people now subscribed to join the beta. So we're just going to make sure we can scale to that level. And once we've got that many people in, we'll start adding more features that we have them ready to see how it goes. So I'm hoping by December, you'll be in your own sort of poker world, just sort of a mini casino without the gambling. It's a really cool experience.
Are the dealers real people or are they computers?
So our dealers are the NFTs. So we have 6 levels. We have standard, rare, and ultra rare. And then we have a holographic versions of the same card. So holographic, standard, rare, and ultra rare. Once you're holding them, so it's Web3, going to be Web3 connected on the game. It's going to be directly in your wallet. You're not going to hold them custodial. If you're holding the NFT of one of the dealers, and there are all sort of various things from, we have monsters to, I don't know, all sorts of, we have everything there. It's quite impressive. And once you're holding them, you can display them as the dealer at the table. It will change the whole graphics, not just the dealer. And you can sort of show off what you're holding. So it's going to change everyone at the table can see who's got what, who you can choose to show it or not show it if you want to keep back. But it completely changes the graphics of the table that you're sat at. So it's also pretty cool with that one.
Interesting. So I'm a little unclear how you win the NFTs. Like in a regular game, you'd win the chips, but the chips aren't really worth anything here. Is it the winner of the tournament gets the NFT or the winner of the games?
Yeah, so this is going to be the winner of the tournament. And then this is going to depend. So like I said about these PKR passes, so you can use our token to buy like a really basic pass, which will let you enter the play to earn model, or you can hold one of the larger passes. And then at the end, when you're winning the tournament, there's 4 patents that run from PKR.io. That's sort of like our parent company. We're using their protocols. So it's fully auditable. So we can check it on the blockchain who won. But what you're going to win at the end is going to depend if you're holding the basic pass or the higher pass. But you will win the NFTs at the end of the tournament. But what you're going to win, whether it's going to be one of the standard or the hollow ones, is going to depend sort of on what pass you're holding or which chance you're going to get.
So it's free to play and anybody can play, but if they want to earn the choice NFTs, they have to hold a certain amount of your token.
Yeah, so to enter the play to earn model, like I think the buy, we need to fix the price. It's gonna be roughly $5 worth of PKR token. That will get you, so you can play completely free, but you won't earn the NFTs on this. You're just playing for fun. And then I think it's about $5 we're going to put as the first level. And that will bring you into the play to earn system. And then we will increase it sort of on the same, sort of on a linear scale. So you'll have a $10 one, $15 one. And then we'll bring it right up to an elite level for people who want to play, and really play out for these hollow ultra rare NFTs. We did an auction just to test how much they would sell for on OpenSea. And I think it was 3.38 Ethereum, which at the time was about $11,000 back in August. So we are trading the ones that we've given out 10 in competitions. They are also being traded and sold on OpenSea between people. So I think we're going to have quite an active market for the NFTs outside of the game as well.
One of the things in blockchain gaming in general that I'm most drawn to is provably fair, which the blockchain allows. Can you talk about how Polker.game is provably fair?
Yeah, so this is I think one of the biggest things that online casinos are facing. Like a lot of them are using the SHA-256 hash, and then, okay, we're going to show you the seed afterwards. We have a completely provably fair system for the entire game. So not only are we going to take a hash, so use a seed and then our own seed, so people can check afterwards, okay, they match, my hand was fair. We're then going to put this onto a smart contract on Polygon. So if people want to look back at a game that was played, I don't know, 4 years ago, whatever, you can still see that the game was played provably fair. All of the hashes are going to be kept there. And thanks to the blockchain, they're not going anywhere. So I think this system, people are using online casinos. A lot of them do use the user seed and then client seed, which works perfectly well just to check, okay, this was fair. But we're adding on this, the blockchain element. Thanks to having these layer 2 solutions, it's not a huge cost running it on Polygon. And it just means if users want to look back at the hands or tables that were played a while ago, they can still see everything was done fairly there. We also have, obviously, people who are worried about random number generation or cards and things. So our random number generator is also run on Polygon. So it actually uses the random number generated from the block header. So it's also completely auditable after on this one. So we got 2 perfectly open protocols for provably fair on that.
Very cool. I see some projects using Chainlink as a random number generator. Is that, I'm not a developer, but can you explain what you guys do and how that's different?
Yeah, so we've partnered with Chainlink. So what we have with Chainlink is, so our parent company, PKR.io, they have developed a multi-crypto marketplace. And this is allowing you to use actual cryptocurrencies side by side. So this idea is it's not actually part of Polker.game. This is going to be used for other games that can use this protocol. We had the issue was that, if you have, if you're moving around Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Ripple, whatever, okay, at the moment, if you want to move Ethereum around people, if you're moving $10 between 3 people bouncing it around, you're paying so much in gas. So we've worked with Chainlink to develop our own kind of layer 2 system. So we'll have like a poker-backed Ethereum or poker-pegged BTC, poker-pegged XRP. They'll move around on our own ledger. And then once at the end, they would settle back onto the main chain. So that way we're solving all of the transaction fees while keeping it decentralized. So it's something that we can't put into our game, but we're offering it to other gaming solutions or e-commerce in the future.
Cool.
Awesome.
In a space like gambling specifically, I know it's, you said there's, it's not really like true poker, but it is poker, the game. And
Yeah.
I don't know how, the regulators look at this, but in a space like gambling specifically that is so heavily regulated, is regulatory overreach a concern for you?
This is like an issue that we've had to face like pretty heavily for the last couple of months. So in the end, as long as we've moved away at the beginning, we would probably have been considered a gambling project. So we've been really careful, and we've been speaking to a lot of the legal guys, also from legal teams that have worked with Coinbase and other big companies, to make sure that we are not a gambling project. So even though we're poker, the chips have no value. So when you're, even if you go, okay, you have, I don't know, 500 chips, you want to go all in, but even if you then come out with 10,000, you win, but you're not actually winning anything from what you put in. So we have had issues with the regulations. We have had to be really careful to make sure that we want a fun game. We want a game that people can play and enjoy. We don't want to, go, okay, we're going to have to do this and do this and do this just because people are saying this is the rules. So we sort of looked at Axie Infinity's play-to-earn model, looked at the gambling regulations, and we sat down and tried to work out where we could find a place that worked for other people and was still fun for everyone and still worked for us. We didn't want to destroy our dream and just create a model based on regulations. So we've managed to create this NFT play-to-earn poker game where you can play poker, you can play poker, but you're not gambling at all. So it's taken a lot of work and effort to find this sort of middle ground. But I'm glad we got here, and it does work really well. But yeah, regulations, they are hard, especially in the US and places like China. So we managed to get this now where you can play from anywhere in the world, and you're not actually causing any issues.
Would you go into your background and the team's background a little more? Are you guys all Texas Hold'em players or developers, or what's your story?
Yeah, so we are such an international team at school. The most of the team we got are in the US. I'm obviously British and living in Spain. My background was in decentralized finance, so I was really working and writing about the technicalities of Ethereum back in 2017, 2016. When smart contracts came out, and then sort of, I moved away from it a little bit, just during the bear market. I stayed following it. I was still doing some work, but not as much. And then I've come back into it during the last couple of years. And yeah, as much as I love the decentralization side, I've just come to the conclusion the world is not ready for full decentralization yet. So I love working on this middle ground. We're not fully decentralized. We know Binance Smart Chain, all of this there. But I love it. We're still cryptocurrency. We're the same community. We're much more inclusive now than we were back then. And it's much more user-friendly than it was back then as well. From the rest of the team, we got a lot of, we got guys with 15 years in tech management. From the development side, I think we now have 16 full-time developers working on the actual game. We got about 34 full-time employees, including marketing and business. And they're from all over the world now. Really, we got, I would say, from Philippines to India to Bangladesh to Brazil to the US to the UK. But we all work really closely together. The team is really good. The communication is done really well. And I think, with the pandemic, everyone's got more used to working in this remote situation. I think this would have been more difficult 3 or 4 years ago. But I think with how it's been, people are kind of used to working at home. So it's made I'm not going to say the pandemic has made our lives much easier. For sure, that's not true. But I think it's made the working ability in this remote situation a lot easier.
And when you say the world isn't ready for true decentralization yet, is that based on UI, UX? Or why do you say that?
I just don't think I don't think it would work. Like I had this sort of like full dream of everyone needs to be decentralized back in 2016. Everything needs to be moved away from banks, everything. But actually, when I look at it, this whole be your own bank thing can be quite stressful to people. People losing private keys, people not understanding what they're doing. So I think having these pseudo centralized systems, and now with exchanges, actually having some kind of accountability, Coinbase, Binance, I've been, this whole not your keys, not your crypto. It may be my stance is still that, but I completely understand that, for a lot of people, it's quite stressful and difficult. So I've now sort of realized that moving to this middle ground first is probably the best step. Allowing these pseudo centralized systems to work. And then slowly, if we do move to a fully decentralized future, I would personally be happy. But I have realized that perhaps the world is not quite ready at this point.
Appreciate you keeping it real. That's why we come to you, man, for the info. My question is, where is Polker today in relation to the goals of the company, and what does success look like for Polker in 5 years?
It's a good question. We're really excited right now. We have the beta launch coming on Thursday. We have a large centralized exchange announcement on Friday. So between PKR, our token, and the game, we're quite happy. 5 years is a long time in life, and it's a super long time in crypto. So I'm pretty excited. Like we want to make sure this game first is perfect. We have a lot of plans also. We want to introduce more games to the ecosystem. We want to have it so the games are linked, so you have the metaverse factor. You can sort of walk between rooms and walk into the next game, or you can even link the games together or split and have 2 rooms and be playing 2 at the same time. We also have the idea of using the NFTs because they are characters, having issues where you can either battle or fight them or trade them, or there are so many things we want to grow. And I think the idea really is to grow the system grow multiple games and then bring it into one big ecosystem. So you're walking into a huge gaming hall metaverse where you can play loads of things, but keeping it all in one place. So we're going to keep, you're going to have lots of options, but it's all in sort of into one place. Inside as well, the idea is that you're going to be able to access sort of the Uniswap UI within the metaverse. You're not going to have to come out. So just trying to keep everything really within one area, one little world, which is going to be completely Polker.
I just generally speaking, I truly feel like I have a way better understanding of Polker.game. I do want to get to more big picture crypto market questions, but anything we didn't mention about Polker.game that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I hope that people have had a look at some of the videos that we put out. If you haven't signed up to the beta, I would recommend you to do it. It is going to be limited how many people can join. We're going to be increasing it every 3 days. But something to check out, it's going live on Thursday. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty big. So I'm quite excited for people to actually start paying attention on that side.
And for the folks at home, this video is probably going to drop around Thursday, Friday, around that time. So it's possibly already available right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so by now the game might be out. We have an exchange announcement on Friday, so we may have already announced that also. We got a surprise exchange listing today, so we weren't even mentioned about it. So you'll find that we are now on another centralized exchange, a larger one that listed us. just decided to list our token due to the fact that we were trending so much recently on CoinGecko and CMC.
Wow.
So it's nice to see that the game development side is going super well. And then the marketing side on the PKR token also is going really well. So we're sort of keeping both things, in a much steadier rate than much faster rate than anticipated.
All those links, or the general links, are down below. Big picture question.
Somebody's coming into the cryptocurrency space today. What advice would you give to new people coming into cryptocurrency generally? And what advice would you give to new people coming into play to earn games as investors?
This is interesting. I think the same saying, do your own research. People don't just say it as a saying, like it really is important to do your own research. I mean, the amount of people who are shilling projects, saying buy this coin, it sounds really great, but when you look into it, the project doesn't have any development, doesn't have any team. So I think, people shouldn't rush into buying things. Make sure you spend it a couple of times, do your due diligence, and then get into it. But remember that, Bitcoin and Ethereum are at the top for a reason. If you're getting into it first, maybe play it safe. But if you find a project that you think is legitimate, you've researched it, they have a team, they are working on something, just don't put in more than you can afford to lose. And, this is crypto right now. It's so volatile. It's so fun. You can make $1,000 turn into $100,000, but also remember, you can make that $1,000 turn into 10. So I think as long as people are doing their own research and they're actually investing in legitimate projects. I know that you have the Shiba Inu and all these block Inus are making a lot of money for people. My hands are up on this. I love the meme coin thing. I stay away from it personally. I find it entertaining, but I have no idea how they can be worth so much money. But I would say stick to projects that have real development.
That's the true gamble, those meme coins, because it's truly hard to value that. And as a follow-up, when you say, do your own research, your own due diligence, what are some places that podcasts or news outlets that you like, that you subscribe to?
Yeah, I mean, mainly I'm finding projects myself. I mean, I would find them. I'm normally using social media. I mean, if I find if I'm talking on Reddit, or if I'm, chatting to people, seeing on Twitter, but then it's, check out their own website. Don't just trust what you read also straight away on some websites, but if you can see that they've had a roadmap and they've been delivering so far on what they've, on time, or it doesn't matter if they're delivering late, but they are delivering a product. So you can see there are people working on it. I would say this is the best way. Podcasts and videos are good. I mean, you got a lot of YouTubers like you guys. You got over 1 million subscribers. So it's cool. Obviously, you got, this can be trusted. But there's also a lot of YouTubers that I wouldn't trust. I'm not gonna put names out, but it's like the Wild West right now. So don't trust everything you hear.
True. 100%. And I just want to point out, when we, and for certain YouTubers, what works for an individual is very specific to that individual. So even if something is right for somebody, it's not necessarily right for another person's situation.
Exactly.
And then final follow-up question for this big picture, best advice to new people getting in. When you say do your own due diligence, do your own research, so important, let's get even more specific. Now, you found a legitimate project. What do you look for that tells you this might be a winner?
I think, if let's say I found a project that looks like it's actually working on what it's doing, when poker right now, I don't know what, the market cap back in September was 3 million. At the time, there was 20 full-time staff working on it. I think 12 of them on the development team full-time on Unreal Engine. When you got a project like that, okay, I saw it obviously from the inside, but if you did your work, we were really public and transparent with what we were doing. Since then, we've gone 12x. So I think, once you find a project and realize, okay, it's got a 10 million market cap, but it's got, it's delivering on a huge scale. Okay, it's not promising the world, it's promising realistic goals, and so far it's doing its work. If you have money that you can risk to put in, I mean, okay, maybe you're funding the project, but maybe you lose it. It's no guarantee. But I feel that, I don't know, there's 13,000 projects now listed on CoinMarketCap or something like that. I would imagine that 60% of them have no work being done on them, and probably 30% of the others have little work, or at least not delivering promises. So I think it doesn't take much to look. And if you find some low market cap thing and you have money or capital, you can risk that, okay, it's not a gamble, but it is high risk. Of course, I mean, there's no promise you're going to make money, but I think these are the projects that people should be looking for.
Very cool. I really wanted to ask you this question because you do have such a unique perspective. You guys are building on Ethereum. You're on Binance Smart Chain as well. For this question, let's take Ethereum out of it. But for the other Dapp platforms, would you just rank them based on just what you like or what you see the best future in out of those prominent smart contract platforms in the space? Top 5.
Yeah, from all of the new EVM platforms, it's changed so much. At first, I would have said Polygon, like if you'd have asked me like a month ago. Now looking at it, I don't know, Solana got so much attention, and it can run smart contracts on EVM and also on Rust. It's a little bit easier to use for developers. So I think Solana probably has a bright future. But I think for the decentralized side, it is probably going to be Polygon. They're going to be pushing this, really decentralized, the pure DeFi, people who are using Curve and Aave, probably going to be sticking on things like Polygon. But I think for the gaming side and the Dapp side, Solana and potentially Harmony are going to be the ones, in my opinion, that are going to be over the next few months, 6 months, getting the most attention.
So Polygon, Solana, Harmony, I assume BSC as well, because you guys are building on that.
Yeah, I mean, BSC for me is not going anywhere. Like BSC, they were the first people who, Binance Smart, BNB came out, 2018, I think. And it was on its own chain. Now it's a multi-chain. But when they released Binance Smart Chain last September, it's been just over a year now. It was the first time people realized that you are running the EVM network. All the smart contracts are compatible. So I think Binance Smart Chain won't go anywhere for gaming, but it's not truly decentralized. So I think for games running play-to-earn models, things like that, it's got a really bright future. I don't think it's going to stop. PancakeSwap is massive right now. It's been massive since it launched, really. But yeah, it doesn't have that fully decentralized structure because it has just the 21 nodes run by Binance. So I have a feeling like it's going to be a mix. For games and things, Binance Smart Chain is perfectly fine. And for those pushing DeFi, I think it's going to be more on the Polygon side.
Interesting. What about some of the others that have gained favor in the past year or two, such as Cardano or Elrond or Cosmos or Phantom? Any thoughts on those?
I loved Cardano, like when I was following the project development ages ago, but I think it took so long to get to the point that it's at to get the smart contracts running. And even now that the smart contracts are live on the platform, it's running smart contracts on a UTXO platform. To me, it's just not at the same level as even Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum has the gas fee issue, but it got the right product probably, but just if it had delivered this 2 years ago, it would have been the biggest thing. Binance Smart Chain would have been forgotten, but I think they just took a little bit too long on development. They might come out and surprise me. Let's see. I really liked Charles when he started working on it, but let's see what they deliver.
For sure. I agree with that general sentiment. 5 to keep on the radar. Connor, thank you so much for taking the time with us. Your links are down below. Final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
Yeah, guys, check Polker.game out. Have a look at the website. Check out, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the beta game, and we'll see you in the metaverse. And thank you, Aaron and Austin.